Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes life gets noisy. The world gets so loud that you can't hear your own thoughts. The voices of doubt, the distractions, the comparisons, they all drown out that quiet voice inside you, the one whispering you are destined for more. And when the world gets too loud, it's time to step back. It's time to hit reset. It's time to disappear, not to give up, not to hide, but to prepare. To step into the shadows and do the work that no one else can see. Stepping back to leap forward is a concept that goes against the grain of today's fast-paced, always-on culture. We're told to keep moving, to hustle endlessly, and to always stay visible. But here's the truth sometimes. The most powerful thing you can do is stop, pause, and step away. It's not about giving up or slowing down for good. It's about gaining perspective, finding clarity, and positioning yourself for a leap so massive that it changes everything. Imagine standing in front of a mountain. If you're too close, you can't see its entirety. You can't map your path or identify the best way to climb. All you see is the overwhelming size of the challenge. But when you take a few steps back, the picture becomes clearer. You see the peaks, the trails, and the obstacles. That moment of stepping back is not weakness, it's strategy. Life works the same way. We often become so immersed in the daily grind that we lose sight of the bigger picture. Our goals, our dreams, even our sense of self get buried beneath the weight of tasks, expectations, and noise. Stepping back is about creating space to breathe, to think, and to reconnect with what truly matters. It's about tuning out the chaos so you can hear the whispers of your soul telling you where you need to go. When you step back, you're not running away from life. On the contrary, you're taking control of it. You're choosing to remove yourself from environments, habits, and situations that no longer serve you. That could mean distancing yourself from toxic relationships, saying no to commitments that drain you, or simply carving out quiet moments in your day to reflect. This process isn't easy. It requires courage to admit that the path you're on might not be the right one, and strength to step off that path, even temporarily. In stepping back, you also make room for growth. Think of a slingshot. Before it propels forward with incredible force, it has to be pulled back. That tension, that moment of pause, is where the power lies. The same is true for you. When you take a step back, you're not stagnating, you're gathering energy, focus, and intention. You're preparing yourself for the leap that will take you to heights you never thought possible. Stepping back also allows you to reassess your priorities. In the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to lose track of what truly matters. You chase goals that society tells you are important: money, status, approval, without stopping to ask if they align with your purpose. But when you step away, you create the space to question, to dream, and to redefine success on your own terms. You begin to see what's worth pursuing and what's not. This process of stepping back often involves discomfort. It's hard to face yourself without distractions. It's hard to confront the truth about your habits, fears, and limitations. But it's in this space of discomfort that transformation begins. You strip away the layers of who the world expects you to be and start uncovering who you truly are. You rediscover your strengths, reignite your passions, and rebuild your confidence. The world might not understand your decision to step back. People may question you, doubt you, or even criticize you. But remember, this journey isn't about them, it's about you. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing your growth. You owe it to yourself to become the best version of who you were meant to be. Stepping back doesn't mean staying back. It's a temporary retreat to prepare for a monumental return. When you leap forward, you do so with clarity, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. You've taken the time to strategize, to align your actions with your values, and to build the strength required to overcome any obstacle. So don't be afraid to step back. Embrace the pause. Trust the process. Because when you return, you won't just pick up where you left off, you'll soar higher than you ever dreamed possible. The power of isolation is one of the most underestimated tools for personal growth and transformation. In a world that thrives on constant connection, being alone is often seen as a weakness or something to avoid. But in reality, isolation is where the magic happens. It's where you strip away the noise, silence the distractions, and tune into your deepest thoughts and desires. Isolation is not about loneliness, it's about recalibration. It's about stepping into a space where you can hear yourself think and truly understand who you are and what you want. When you isolate yourself, you create an environment where growth is not just possible but inevitable. The distractions that once consumed you, the endless notifications, the opinions of others, the pressure to keep up fade away. You begin to see clearly what has been holding you back and what needs to change. It's in this stillness that you find clarity. And clarity is the foundation of transformation. Without it, you're just moving blindly, chasing goals that may not even matter to you. Isolation gives you the chance to reconnect with your purpose. In the hustle and grind of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of your why. You get caught up in routines, obligations, and external expectations, forgetting what truly drives you. But when you're alone, with no one to impress or please, you can ask yourself the hard questions: what do I really want? What am I doing this for? Am I living in alignment with my values? These questions might be uncomfortable, but they're necessary. They lead you to a deeper understanding of yourself, which is the first step toward becoming your best self. There's also a certain discipline that comes with isolation. When you're on your own, there's no one to hold you accountable but yourself. It's just you and your choices. This can be daunting, but it's also incredibly empowering. You learn to rely on your inner strength, to push yourself when no one else is watching, and to stay committed to your goals even when it's tough. This kind of self-discipline is what separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. Isolation is also a time for healing. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and pain, and we often don't give ourselves the space to process and recover. We move from one thing to the next, burying our emotions under a pile of responsibilities. But when you're alone, there's no running from your feelings. You have to face them, sit with them, and work through them. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Because on the other side of that pain is growth. On the other side is freedom. Some of the greatest minds and achievers in history understood the power of isolation. Nikola Tesla spent years in solitude, dreaming up inventions that changed the world. Maya Angelou often secluded herself in a small, plain room to write words that would inspire generations. Even nature shows us this truth. The caterpillar isolates itself in a cocoon before transforming into a butterfly. It's a process that requires patience, stillness, and faith in the transformation taking place. But let's be clear, choosing isolation is not about cutting off the world forever. It's about stepping away to prepare yourself for a stronger return. It's about creating a sanctuary where you can build, plan, and grow without interference. The world will still be there when you're ready, but you'll come back to it as a more focused, capable, and empowered version of yourself. The hardest part of isolation is resisting the urge to seek validation. When you're alone, you don't have an audience applauding your efforts or cheering you on. But that's the point. Transformation isn't about proving anything to anyone else. It's about proving something to yourself. It's about knowing deep down that you're capable of more and doing the work to reach your full potential. When you embrace isolation, you embrace the opportunity to transform in ways you never thought possible. You become comfortable with your own company, confident in your abilities, and clear in your vision. And when the time comes to step back into the world, you'll do so not as the person you were, but as the person you were always meant to be. Breaking old patterns is one of the most powerful steps you can take in your journey of transformation. It's easy to fall into routines, patterns of thought, behavior, and choices that, over time, become second nature. But here's the truth: if you want something different, if you want to achieve new heights and experience growth, you have to be willing to break those patterns. It's not about just changing the way you do things, it's about challenging the beliefs, habits, and environments that have kept you stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. Old patterns often come from the past. They are built from your history, your upbringing, your experiences, the people you've surrounded yourself with, and the stories you've told yourself over the years. These patterns create a lens through which you see the world, and they can limit you in ways you might not even realize. You might not see them as obstacles, but as comfortable truths. But comfort is not where growth happens. Growth happens in discomfort, in the unfamiliar, in breaking through the walls that once confined you. To break old patterns, you first need to identify them. Look at your life right now. What habits have you formed that no longer serve you? What thoughts have become so ingrained that you no longer question them? Maybe you procrastinate on important tasks because you're afraid of failure. Maybe you settle for toxic relationships because you don't feel worthy of better. Maybe you're caught in a routine that's safe but uninspiring. These are patterns that, over time, have shaped your reality, and they will continue to shape your future if you don't make a conscious effort to break them. But recognizing these patterns is only the first step. Breaking them requires action. It requires making different choices, even when it feels hard, unfamiliar, or uncomfortable. It means stepping outside your comfort zone and doing things that scare you, because that's where the growth happens. It means challenging yourself to think differently, to take risks, and to go after what you truly want, even if it means letting go of what you've always known. It's easy to stay in your old patterns because they provide a sense of security. There's a false comfort in staying in the same place, even if that place is not where you truly want to be. But security is not the same as progress. If you want to change your life, you have to be willing to take risks, to fail, and to learn from those failures. You have to be willing to confront the parts of yourself that are holding you back, whether that's fear, self-doubt, or a lack of belief in your own abilities. Breaking old patterns also requires letting go of the things and people that no longer align with who you're becoming. Sometimes this is the hardest part of the process. We hold on to relationships, environments, and habits because they are familiar, even if they are toxic or unproductive. But transformation requires that you release what no longer serves your highest good. You have to be willing to create space for new people, new ideas, and new opportunities to enter your life. This process isn't quick, and it's not easy. You will face resistance. Your mind will try to convince you to stay in your old ways because they're safe, predictable, and comfortable. But true change comes when you push past that resistance, when you choose to do the hard things instead of the easy things. It means making the tough decisions, even when they are inconvenient or uncomfortable. It means being relentless in your pursuit of a better version of yourself. As you break old patterns, you will also discover new strengths within yourself. You will find that you are more capable than you ever realized. You will develop new habits, new ways of thinking, and new ways of being. These new patterns will lead you to a life that aligns with your deepest values and your true potential. And over time, these new habits will become second nature, creating a new foundation for your future success. The process of breaking old patterns is not about rejecting who you were. It's about honoring the person you are becoming. It's about shedding the layers of doubt, fear, and limitation that have been holding you back, and embracing the freedom that comes with breaking free from those chains. You have the power to change your life, to rewrite your story, and to step into the future you deserve. But first, you must be willing to break the patterns that no longer serve you. The life you want is waiting for you, but it requires you to make the choice to break free and move forward. Committing to the process is one of the most crucial elements of achieving lasting success and transformation. We live in a world where quick results and instant gratification are highly valued, and as a result, many people expect rapid success without considering the time, effort, and persistence required to truly transform. But here's the hard truth: real success is never achieved overnight. It is the product of consistent, deliberate, and focused effort over time. Committing to the process means dedicating yourself to the journey, no matter how long or difficult it may be. It's about showing up day after day, even when the results are not immediately visible, and trusting that the work you're putting in will eventually pay off. When you commit to the process, you embrace the idea that the journey itself is just as important as the destination. It's not just about where you want to go, it's about who you become in the process of getting there. Transformation is a process of growth and development, and growth never happens in a straight line. There will be setbacks, failures, and moments when it feels like you're not making progress. But commitment means staying the course, even when the going gets tough. It means not giving up just because things are hard or because you're not seeing immediate results. A key part of committing to the process is developing the mindset of resilience. Life will always throw challenges your way. There will be times when it feels like the universe is conspiring against you, when the obstacles in your path seem insurmountable. But resilience is what enables you to keep going in the face of adversity. It's about understanding that failure is not the end, it's simply a lesson on the road to success. Every failure teaches you something valuable. It builds your strength, your endurance, and your ability to persevere. When you commit to the process, you're not just committed to success, you're committed to learning, growing, and evolving, no matter what challenges come your way. Commitment to the process also means embracing the grind, the small, consistent actions that add up over time. Success is not built on one big leap, it's built on the hundreds, thousands, or even millions of small steps you take every day. Whether it's waking up early to work on your goals, staying disciplined in the face of distractions, or putting in the hours when no one is watching, it's the daily grind that leads to success. These small actions, when repeated consistently, compound over time, and they create momentum that propels you toward your ultimate goal. In order to commit to the process, you also need to be patient with yourself. We live in a world where everyone wants instant results, but the truth is that meaningful change takes time. It takes time to develop new skills, to break old habits, and to build the foundation for success. The process may feel slow at times, but that doesn't mean you're not making progress. Every small step, no matter how insignificant it may seem in the moment, is bringing you closer to your goal. Patience allows you to stay grounded and focused when things don't happen as quickly as you expect, and it prevents you from becoming discouraged by setbacks. One of the most powerful aspects of committing to the process is the discipline it fosters. Discipline is what keeps you on track when motivation fades. Motivation is fleeting, and it's easy to feel inspired when things are going well. But what happens when you're tired, when you're discouraged, or when the road gets tough? That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is the ability to continue doing the necessary work, regardless of how you feel in the moment. It's what separates those who succeed from those who give up along the way. When you commit to the process, you're not relying on motivation, you're relying on your discipline to carry you through the tough times. Ultimately, committing to the process is about trust. It's about trusting yourself, trusting the work you're doing, and trusting that your efforts will lead to the results you desire. The path may not always be clear, and the outcome may not always be guaranteed, but when you commit to the process, you put faith in the journey and trust that everything you're doing is moving you closer to your dreams. When you commit to the process, you become unstoppable. You build momentum, you cultivate resilience, and you create a foundation for lasting success. You become someone who is capable of achieving anything, not because you are immune to challenges or setbacks, but because you are willing to keep going when others would quit. The process will shape you, strengthen you, and transform you in ways you never imagined. But only if you commit to it. So embrace the journey, trust the process, and know that every step you take is one step closer to the life you're meant to live. Emerging as your best self is the culmination of all the hard work, sacrifice, and dedication you've put into your personal transformation. It's not about reaching a final destination, but rather stepping into a new version of yourself that is more confident, more capable, and more powerful than you were before. The transformation you undergo from the inside out is what allows you to face the world with unwavering strength and clarity. It is in this emergence that your true potential is realized, and it is in this moment that you are fully prepared to show the world who you really are. The first step in emerging as your best self is letting go of any fear or doubt that has been holding you back. For so long, you might have lived in the shadow of your insecurities, hesitating to pursue your dreams, second-guessing your abilities, or allowing past failures to define you. But that person, that version of you, is no longer who you are. The transformation you've gone through has equipped you with the confidence and courage to stand tall and own who you are. You don't need to shrink yourself to fit into the spaces others expect you to. You were never meant to be ordinary, and when you emerge as your best self, you embrace that. You take ownership of your greatness, and you don't apologize for it. Emerging as your best self is also about acknowledging and embracing your worth. Too often, people hold themselves back from success because they don't believe they deserve it. They let self-doubt, limiting beliefs, and imposter syndrome control their actions. But when you commit to the process of transformation and put in the work to evolve, you are validating your worth every step of the way. You are worthy of success, worthy of happiness, and worthy of all the abundance life has to offer. And as you step into this new version of yourself, you must hold that truth close, because your worth doesn't come from external validation, it comes from within. As you emerge, it's important to recognize that you won't be the same person you once were. The transformation you've gone through has reshaped your mindset, your habits, and your approach to life. You've broken free from the patterns that once held you back, and now you see the world through a clearer lens. You are no longer operating from a place of fear or scarcity. Instead, you are moving forward with purpose, grounded in the confidence that you are capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. This shift in perspective is what allows you to step into your greatness, and it is what will propel you to new heights in your journey. Emerging as your best self means recognizing that you have the power to create the life you desire. You no longer wait for opportunities to come to you, you go after them. You take responsibility for your choices and the direction your life is headed. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or external factors for where you are. You realize that you are the author of your own story, and you are writing it with every decision you make. This ownership of your life and your choices is what separates those who are merely surviving from those who are truly thriving. But even as you emerge as your best self, it's essential to understand that you are not perfect. Perfection is an illusion, and striving for it only leads to frustration and disappointment. Instead of seeking perfection, focus on progress. Celebrate the small victories along the way, and be proud of the person you've become. The journey of transformation is ongoing, and even when you've emerged as your best self, there will still be room for growth. Embrace that, understand that the work you've done to get here is only the beginning, and that every day is an opportunity to become an even better version of yourself. When you emerge as your best self, you also become an inspiration to others. The energy you radiate, the confidence you exude, and the success you achieve serve as a reminder to those around you that transformation is possible. You show them that it is possible to change, to grow, and to step into a life that aligns with their deepest desires. Your journey becomes a beacon of hope, lighting the way for others who may be struggling to believe in their own potential. You become a living example that change is not only possible but inevitable if you are willing to put in the work and embrace the process. Finally, when you emerge as your best self, you do so with a sense of purpose. Your goals, your values, and your vision for your future are no longer vague or undefined. They are clear, and they drive you forward with a sense of urgency. You know exactly what you want, and you are committed to making it happen. This purpose is what fuels your determination and keeps you focused, even when obstacles arise. It is the force that propels you through the tough times and keeps you moving forward, even when the road is uncertain. Emerging as your best self is not a one-time event, it is an ongoing process. It is a reflection of the hard work, commitment, and dedication you put into becoming the person you were always meant to be. And as you step into this new version of yourself, you do so with the knowledge that you are unstoppable. You have already proven to yourself that you are capable of transformation, and now the world is waiting to see you shine.